What's going on, guys? It's PokePond back with another video for you. We got loads to talk about today. The Pokemon sealed market is going absolutely crazy. As always, you know we're going to keep you up to date with all the crazy price movements, all the plays you can make across the hobby. Make sure you subscribe down below to never miss an opportunity. Let's get into it. Right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to get straight into the price analysis this week because there's just so much going on and so much that we need to talk about. I feel like we're really at the point where the Pokemon market is about to explode, particularly for Sword and Shield sealed product. I've been investing into Pokemon sealed product for a very, very long time now. We're getting close to nearly a decade of investing in sealed product. I'm really happy to have been part of the hobby for that long. Primarily, I am a collector first, but I also invest in a lot of sealed product as well and have been doing for quite a long time. And I have seen the Pokemon market go in these cycles. It goes up and down in popularity, and we are right at the point now where we are about to, I believe, over the next year, go into an upward cycle, more hype around the hobby, and these older sets, particularly Sword and Shield, are about to explode in price, in my opinion, and we can start to see that now on the charts. The big news is I've been talking about it for weeks and weeks and weeks about how Fusion Strike is going to go up in price massively. We already saw a huge price gain in the US over the last few months when it went out of stock on Pokemon Center, but it was still in stock in the EU up until last week. For weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, months and months, if you look back on the channel, I've been telling you guys that Fusion Strike for retail price in the EU is an absolute crazy deal, and now it's out of stock in the EU. So what does that mean? Well, firstly, the price in the EU is going to shoot up. That was a given. However, it's also having a massive effect on the US markets as well. And you say, PokePond, why is Fusion Strike going out of stock in the EU going to affect the US markets? We haven't been able to get it here for retail for the longest time. I know, but what was happening is a lot of people from the UK and the EU were selling on the US version and artificially keeping the price of Fusion Strike, keeping a lid on it in the US. Now the stock's gone in the EU. There's no more stock. It is out of stock and out of print worldwide now, Fusion Strike, as of this week. So what does that mean for prices? Everyone's going to FOMO in hard to Fusion Strike, and we're starting to see that this week. Let's have a look at this. This is US charts as well. Like I said, it's been out of stock for a while, which is why we saw this price gain here around about October, November. Now the price is starting to go intergalactic, and I tell you what, it hasn't even done a tiny bit of what I think it's going to do over the next year. I think Fusion Strike is going to have a huge run up in price, and we can already see it this week. So this week it has gone from, let's see, average price of around $241 last week a box to now last sale, ignore the top one because that's a picture one, last sale $284. So massive price gain in the US, and it's not just about the price gain. Look at the sales volume behind it. The sales volume, 48 sold in the last 2 days. You can see the blue bar behind this one here is the sales volume. So not only is the price going up, but the demand has gone up massively as well. Everyone is going to FOMO into this really, really hard. And I'm telling you, even at these prices, sub $300 a box, I still think it's undervalued. I still think it's going to shoot up in price over this next year. My prediction is double price by the end of 2025. My prediction is $600 a box by this time next year. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I put it in there as one of my top 3 Sword and Shield sets. Let's have a look at prices in the US right now then. And you will notice, bear in mind, right, so this goes a bit crazy with postage because obviously I'm based in the UK and I'm looking at the US eBay. So it sometimes puts the UK ones cheaper because it includes price and postage as well. And obviously a UK seller selling on US eBay costs like nothing to ship it to me. So take it with a pinch of salt. But I can tell you that all the cheapest ones in the US are from the UK, because eBay has made it so much easier to do international sales, and where it's so much cheaper over here because it was in stock for retail up until the end of last week, what the UK people were doing were committing retail arbitrage and shipping them over to the US. And that's just what we can see on eBay. I wouldn't be surprised either if some of the big players were taking containers full, buying them for retail from distros, from buyouts, from eBay, from everywhere over here for retail price, shipping them to the US and then upselling them on the US eBay. And they've probably been doing that for weeks and months. That's all going to stop because there's no more retail stock of Fusion Strike now worldwide. So the prices are going to start coming up in the EU, and that's going to mean that there's going to be less incentive for EU people to be shipping theirs to the US to sell, because that profit margin is going to get tighter and tighter squeeze. So let's have a look at what the cheapest are in the US right now. 241, 241. I'm telling you, yeah, look, they're both from the UK as well. Look, UK import, UK import, UK import. This is on the US eBay. The reason why they can be the cheapest on there is because we're still getting it for retail over here, or there or thereabouts. The price in the UK is starting to shoot up this week though, because stock's drying up. And I tell you what, it's just going to go up and up and up until we reach your price. And it's only going to be another week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks until we start to see a similar price to your market as well. Let's have a look at the UK then. So in the UK last week we could pick these up for 150. Okay, they were still available for retail from Pokemon Center for 140ish, and we could get them for 150 in the UK. That's already jumped in the last like 3-4 days now to the cheapest is 180, 184, 185. And I tell you what, these are going to get bought out, because even at 180 it's still a bargain, especially if we start to see the US market start to climb up to 300 a box, 300 plus a box. These are going to get bought out, and then the price is going to shoot up. My prediction for the short term for the UK market for Fusion Strike is it's going to shoot up to around about £240, 230, 240 over the next month or two. Then we're going to see a little bit of a price reduction. We're going to see a little bit of a price correction back down to around about the 210 mark. That's just healthy. This is what always happens when things shoot up in price, because what happens is the price shoots up as the supply goes, people FOMO into it, and then you get a price correction of the people that are dumping it. The people that bought it for retail last week, 6 months ago, a year ago, see that it's suddenly at over 200 a box, they take their profit. That's when you're going to see the price correction. It's going to come back down to around about the 210 mark, I think. It's going to hover around 210 for a month or two, then it's just going to start creeping. Let's have a look at the US market. I think you're going to see something like this. You're going to see a consolidation period here. Let me move my mouse. Around about here, you see a consolidation period. It doesn't actually really reduce down in price when we're zoomed out, but you just see it flatline for a little bit after a price rise. I think the same is going to happen in the UK. I think it's severely undervalued at the moment. It's going to shoot up to around about that 230, 240 range, and then it's going to drop down or go even, and it's going to hover at that price, or maybe drop down a little bit to around about 210, and then we're just going to see it slowly creep up in price. Our market is partially determined by the US market as well, and if the US market keeps doing what it's doing and has more weeks like it did last week, we're in for a wild ride with Fusion Strike, I tell you. Let's have a look at last sales then. Look, last sales 175, 180. This is in the UK. Look, someone got a bargain there, 150. This is what I mean. They were available for 150 just a few days ago, and they've all just been scooped up. Now the price is 180. Cheapest is 180, 185. Very soon this is going to be 200 a box. I would be surprised if in a month's time, okay, I would be surprised if on Christmas Day you can pick this up sub 200 a box. I would be very surprised if it's not at 200 a box plus. It's going to be very close. It's going to be 195 cheapest. That's my predictions, just because the US market is going to start to explode. Like I said, there's no more stock of it. completely out of stock worldwide. I think it's very unlikely we're ever going to see a reprint of Fusion Strike. I think we're going to see a massive run on these boxes, and they're massively underpriced, even at this 180 mark, even in the US at this mark. What's the last sale? 284. I think 284 is still cheap for Fusion Strike. Come on, guys. This is a $500-600 box all day long by the end of next year. Might even be way over that. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Evolving Skies, then. So the aim of this episode is just to show you a few of the big boys. You know, we have to track these guys every single week. I'll always point out where there's crazy price movements so that you don't have to. That's why you subscribe down below, so that I keep you up to date with all of the movements in sealed product, in all of Ultra Modern, Sword and Shield. I have a little look at Sun and Moon, and obviously Scarlet and Violet as well. We're starting to look at a bit more of Scarlet and Violet as well, but we'll get onto that in a minute. Let's have a look at Evolving Skies. And Evolving Skies, another good week. It's going strength to strength. I said to you guys, it's a $1,000 box all day long. Not next year, not in a month's time. Now, in fact, I think it's more. I think it's a $1,200 box today. It's completely undervalued right now. Look, 934 last sale. I think that's a bargain. Anything sub $1,000 is a bargain, I think. Do not invest in Evolving Skies booster boxes as your first sealed product. If you're looking at getting into something and you want to buy some Evolving Skies, and you're new to this, I do not recommend you drop $1,000 on an Evolving Skies booster box. It is extremely risky to invest in a box that is already massively overinflated. People that have been in this for a lot longer, though, will understand why people still do put $1,000 into Evolving Skies. Evolving Skies is a complete anomaly on its own. It is one of the best sets of the last 10 years. I think everyone's expecting the price to go $2,000, $3,000 plus in the future, and that's what's driving that demand. But if you really are new to it and you want to get into Evolving Skies, I would recommend you go into a cheaper product like the Elite Trainer box and just sit on it and watch. Okay, don't put in too much money if you're new to this. Okay. It's not something you jump in with 2 feet. You need to do your own research. And although I make recommendations on this channel, this is what I would do as someone who studies this week in, week out for years and years and years. Okay, just use my suggestions as research, as knowledge. You have to make your own decisions on this. You have to educate yourself. There are plenty of people online on this platform that can give you that education and information for free. Just be cautious. Just be cautious, because not everyone's advice is good. I can tell you that. A lot of these people as well, I'd just like to make people aware that some of the other big Pokemon investment YouTubers have their own shops and their own distribution. In fact, most of them do. And I'm not saying all of them are bad. Some of them do give out good advice. However, there's quite often a conflict of interest. Quite often, if they've got a warehouse full of a certain product that they can't ditch, maybe they'll recommend that as a good investment to help free up some product. I'm just saying it is something some of these people do, so be cautious of that. Anyway, back onto Evolving Skies. Not only has it gone up in price since last week, so it's gone from 889 average value on TCG Player to 934. So what's that, about $40, which is just under a 5% price rise in the last week, which is healthy, very healthy. But we're seeing sales volume go up as well. Look, 18 sold in the last 2 days on TCG Player. Let's have a look at eBay though, because TCG Player isn't always super accurate. Again, we just use these tools as a guide. We need to put together the information from all these different sources to find out exactly what's going on. It's at a weird state where it's kind of like worth more in the US even after the exchange rate than it is in the UK right now. The UK market and the EU market is lagging behind a little bit in some respects. So again, you're seeing these imports. So the cheapest on here is $925. Again, ignore the postage. It's just trying to work out what that would be to ship that to me to the UK. But yeah, if you're in the US, you would pay $925 and basically no shipping. But then you can see, look, people are trying to arbitrage it across the pond. Look, UK import, and they're coming up as cheap as well. And then look, there's not that many. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Most of them are UK imports, and then you're at $1,000 a box. And even then, the $1,000 a box is a UK import, and then $1,000 US. This is what I'm saying, guys. It's over $1,000 a box. I called it on the channel. I've called it from months and months ago. I said $1,000 a box by Christmas. We're here. We're basically here. We're 1, 2, 3, 4 sales. If you count just US sales, we're 1 sale away from $1,000 a box in the US on eBay right now. Let's have a look at the UK right now. Cheapest you can pick it up is $6.98 all in. That is an incredible discount on what it has been recently. I still think it's massively undervalued. At £700 a box, this is what I'm saying. You could buy it on UK eBay and sell it to the US and still make profit even with the exchange rate. Personally, I don't recommend doing that though. It is definitely a play that you can do, doing like international arbitrage over eBay. I don't want the hassle, personally. I would much rather not try and ship a box halfway around the world, because if it goes missing or damaged, like you're out 700 and like it's really just like not worth it. I would much rather buy this box for 700 and just sit on it and enjoy having it in my collection, and maybe sit on it for a year, 2 years, 3 years, and then sell it for 3k a box, 4k a box in the future. Would personally be the play that I would make. Whether that takes 2 years for it to get to that price, I don't know. Maybe it takes 5 years, maybe it takes 10 years. I do think it will get there though. And the one thing I know about Evolving Skies is it always breaks everyone's expectations. Time and time again, it has just exceeded everyone's targets, mine included as well. But yeah, $1,000 a box in the US, we're pretty much there right now. I think it will be by Christmas Day. Looks massively underpriced here in the US right now. In the UK, sorry. 700 a box just seems crazy cheap to me. And I want to show you something very quickly. So at 700 a box, divided by 36 packs, we're at £19.44 a pack. That averages out to when you buy it obviously in bulk on the sealed booster box. £19.44. Let's have a look at the Elite Trainer box. So the Elite Trainer box, cheapest you can get right now is $148.39. 148.39 divided by 8 packs in there. $18.54. The Elite Trainer box and the booster box are like right there. They're so close to that £20 a pack mark, and I just don't see it not getting there. There's so many packs of like previous sets that have gone well over £20 each, and the fact that we can see that the Elite Trainer box basically has a slightly cheaper pack to cost ratio than the main booster box shows me that this is undervalued. It shows me that this Elite Trainer box is undervalued. I think that when Elite Trainer boxes, it's cheaper and more cost effective to like rip it and pull packs out to sell than actually keep it sealed. It shows that it's undervalued, definitely. It in no way should let's put it this way, if I outlay £150 and I get 8 packs, there's no way that that should be a better deal than me spending £700 to get 36 packs. It just doesn't make sense. The booster box is undervalued as it is. But the fact that that's more expensive pack to cost ratio than the Elite Trainer Box shows me that the Elite Trainer Box is just super cheap right now. And look what it's doing on the chart as well. I've called this out over the last few weeks as well, last few months. The Elite Trainer Box is definitely a play, and it's becoming more and more of a play. You can see what's going on in the price chart. This is on the 6-month chart. Basically, since August, it's just been creeping up in price. Let's have a look at last sale in the US for it. 210 for an Elite Trainer Box. I mean, we're talking about there's booster boxes in Sword and Shield that we can get for cheaper than this Elite Trainer Box. Even now, we can get out of print booster boxes for Sword and Shield sealed for less than this Elite Trainer Box. But the Elite Trainer Box still looks cheap. We're living in a crazy world, honestly. Make what you will out of it. Cheapest in the UK right now is £148. I'm tempted to buy this one myself, actually. This is a huge discount. They were like £165 recently. Like I said, it's cheaper pack to cost ratio than the booster box. Just seems really cheap right now. Let's have a look at last sales. Look, 155 on the off-color variant, 144 import. Look at this. Yeah, look, 160. Recently, they're selling for 160. One sold for 190 for the Umbreon one. That's crazy. And that's not even the Pokemon Center exclusive either. The Pokemon Center exclusives are in a class of their own. Like 275 last sale, 295, 295. They're creeping up in price. Again, that's definitely a play, the Pokemon Center Elite Trainer Box, but it's a lot more risky because you have to find the right person to buy it. Someone's not buying the Pokemon Center exclusive version to crack it. They're buying it as a display piece. And yeah, look, 160 last sale. It's just a little bit cheaper than usual. A little bit of a discount. 148 all in. That's a really good deal. I'm really tempted to just order that myself now before the video goes live, but I won't. I'll leave it for one of you guys. I've got my eyes on something else anyway. Plus, I'm doing a little bit of a challenge myself as well. You can see that we have the new challenge. We've got some Elite Trainer boxes in the back. We've got a new entrance. We have a Paldean Fates one there. That's a little challenge that I'm doing where I'm buying some ultra modern Elite Trainer boxes. I'm limiting myself to 2 per month, just so that it builds slowly over time, and I'm not allowed to pay more than retail for it. I may try and go for like the full set. I may not. I haven't decided yet. I've got another one on the way as well. I've got a really good deal on a Twilight Masquerade Elite Trainer box. Those are super cheap right now. You can get some crazy good deals. I'm talking sub £40 here in the UK, which is let me work that out, probably like 25% below retail on a sealed Elite Trainer box of Twilight Masquerade. So that's really cool. I'm really enjoying having like a little collector's challenge going on in the background, and you'll see it slowly grow behind me there. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. Let's move on from Evolving Skies. We all know that Evolving Skies is a good deal and severely underpriced. Let's talk about Lost Origin then. Lost Origin has seen a little bit of a it's still increasing in price, but it's just slowed down a little bit, but that's fine. That's healthy. That's what we want to see. Anytime you see any speculative asset, any stock, any Pokemon box, anything like that, anytime it's increasing in price but it just goes more sort of flatline, that's a really positive sign. You don't want to always see stuff going vertical, because stuff going vertical just means that there's like loads of hype around it, and basically like the demand is outweighing the supply. That just means that like the price is more volatile. So what goes up really quickly can also come back down really quickly. But seeing things like flatline or like grow slowly is really positive. People who are like aware of like tracking stocks and stuff like that talk about support levels. Basically what that means is for a decent amount of time people agree that that is the price that should be paid. A lot of this hobby is about perceived pricing, so something is worth what people will pay for it, okay? And if for 3 months of the year people are willing to pay $240 for a Lost Origin booster box, then people then think in their head that is the value of it. So if they see it for cheaper, $230, $220, they get bought out. It increases the demand. and again puts it back up to that level. So it's really positive to see Lost Origin not only growing in price, but really establishing itself in price at around about that 240 mark. I expect it's going to have a really, really good year. And although we're seeing not a huge gain in price over the last week, we're seeing sales volume again. Look what's happening this week. Sales volume is going through the roof for all of these sets this week. People are making moves on them right now, and you don't want to miss the boat. Look at that, 80 sold in the last 2 days on TCG Player for around about that 240 mark. And I'm telling you, 240 is like an all-time high for Lost Origin as well. Look at this, 4 for 232, 1 for 232, 1 for 244, 245, 248, 245, 250. Telling you guys, Lost Origin's got a lot of room to grow as well. Let's have a look at the UK right now. Not many people are selling them. Look, £242 is the cheapest. I mean, that's the equivalent to, off the top of my head, I'd have to say, I don't even know, probably like closer to like $280 or something on the conversion rate, something like that. Yeah, kind of crazy. Look, 242, and then in a couple of sales we're at 250, and then we're at 300. So in less than 5 sales, then the cheapest is 300 a box. There's really not that much supply. So when we, if and when we get another run on like the alt arts, the Giratina going up in price, etc., I really think people are going to start FOMOing into these good sets in Sword and Shield, and the price is just going to start going up and up and up. And the reason why is because the people holding them see the price going up and don't want to sell them because the price keeps going up. Why would you? And then more and more people want to buy it as well. That pushes the price up higher. I think Lost Origin, Fusion Strike, and Evolving Skies are going to have a absolutely crazy 2025, and we're going to see most of these boxes. Maybe not Evolving Skies. I don't know about Evolving Skies. It's tricky because it's already at that higher price point. But out of the 3 I've just mentioned, I think it's quite likely that they're all going to be double the price at this time next year. I could easily see Lost Origin knocking on the door of £500 a box. I could easily see Evolving Skies, for it to double in price, we're talking about let's see, so 700 a box, 1400 a box in the next 12 months. It's definitely doable. If any set's going to do it, it's going to be Evolving Skies. And then Fusion Strike, I mean, 175, 400 a box. I don't think that's outside the realm of possibility in 12 months. And I'll tell you what, if it doesn't happen in 12 months, it will in 24 months. Let's talk about another set then. Astral Radiance. Astral Radiance I put in the same class as one of those really good Sword and Shield sets. However, there's just not much of it around for retail anymore. Astral Radiance was one of those sets where up until, let's see, well, we can see on the chart here, up until about October sort of time, which isn't that long ago, we could pick it up for retail in the US. We could also pick it up for retail prices here as well in the UK. We can pretty much still get it for retail in the UK. And I put it as, I definitely put it in like the top half of sets for Sword and Shield. So the fact that you can still get it for retail, it's out of print in the US and in the UK. I mean, it's a little bit more than retail in the US right now. Let's see. Last sale 182, 2 for 175, 178. I think it's going to have a really good year, and I think it's a very slept on set. We can see that it had a little bit of a price correction in the last few days by like what, $1, which is basically nothing. But again, look what happened this week. Sales volume went up. Last 2 days, 15 sold, but usually they'd have 2 sold, 4 sold, 2 sold, 4 sold. So we're seeing that increase in sales on all of these sealed Sword and Shield products. I think people are starting to FOMO into them. People are buying them as Christmas presents as well. You've got to take that into account as well. It's December. We always see a little bit of a pump in December. I really do think people are sleeping on Astral Radiance. Cheapest you can get it on eBay right now is $224. Actually, it's not. It's $180. $180. Again, it's mucking it up because because it's trying to work out shipping to me, like internationally. So yeah, $180 in the US. I think that's pretty cheap. I think it's undervalued for what it is. And if you feel like you've already lost your opportunity to invest into Lost Origin, Evolving Skies, Fusion Strike, because the price is getting too high in the US, I'd have a look at Astral Radiance. I really would. I think people sleep on it, and I think it is one of the better sets of Sword and Shield. Cheapest, last sales actually in the US. Look, you can get bargains on it. 172. That's a decent price, to be honest, and that was 2 days ago. On a buy it now as well. You don't even have to snipe an auction on that. So there are deals to be had on it. Keep an eye out on Astral Radiance, or just subscribe to the channel and I'll keep an eye on it for you. Definitely do think it's a play. If you live in the UK, it's definitely a play. It's out of print. It's a decent set. You can buy it well below retail right now. 138.50. You can see there's 26 people waiting to pull the trigger on it. Someone's going to do it. Maybe I'll do it. Maybe I'll do it before I even post this video. I don't know. If I was going to invest £140 right now, you'd have to do some convincing to me to not buy that. That is a really good purchase. I would be torn between buying that or buying the Evolving Skies Elite Trainer box. I think they're both pretty good plays at the moment, if that was my budget for what I was going to spend. But before I do anything, I am always going to have a good look around the market for bargains as well. Also, crazy weird deals going on in the EU right now on Shrouded Fable booster bundles. I've seen quite a few smaller online card stores offering them for like 50% below retail. We're talking like £14-15 for 6 packs, and this is Shrouded Fable booster bundles. So it's not the most popular set. Even the Elite Trainer boxes are cheap as well, but yeah, it was like $15.99 for 6 packs, which is $2.66 a pack. And I know Shrouded Fable is not that popular, but there are deals out there. If you're in the UK right now, that's not a bad play. It's not a play I'm going to make myself. I do think it will do well long term, but it's not a play I'm going to make myself, just because I don't really want to put too much money into Shrouded Fable, because I don't believe in it as a set. So I don't want to sit on too much of it. But I will always point out plays to you. Very quickly, we're just going to have a little look at a couple of bits of Ultra Modern. We're going to look at Surging Sparks and 151. And then I've got a little segment at the end where we look at like a little unpopular set and see what's going on with it. I'm quite enjoying doing that in the last few videos. We need to talk about Surging Sparks. Surging Sparks has gone out of stock in the US for booster boxes, and you can see the price just go up and up and up on TCG Player. For the most recent set that's out, it's really positive to see this kind of demand behind a set like that. I do think people are FOMOing into it quite a lot. Last sale $214 for the most recent set that's out. That's kind of crazy to see that kind of demand. Really positive. I would be reluctant to invest into it at that price. It's already inflated, and I think it's almost definitely going to get a reprint. I mean, it's the most recent set that's out. If any set's going to get reprinted, this is the most likely to get reprinted, in my opinion. So be very cautious about investing into it if you're going to keep it for sealed, if you're paying those increased prices. However, we will still keep an eye on it on the channel, because we always keep an eye on anything that is doing crazy things on the price charts each week, even if it's not the best thing to invest in. Speaking of which, we have the 151 Elite Trainer box. It's just going up and up in price here in the US, and last sale is $214, $213, $215. I don't think it's going to get reprinted. I think the Pokemon Center, not even the Pokemon Center, I think that the 151 Elite Trainer box is not going to get reprinted, in my opinion. It is possible that it will, but even if it does, I don't think it will get a huge run. The reason being is that it takes a lot for them to put together an Elite Trainer box. For example, if they're just going to like reprint a booster bundle for a holiday set, it's just 6 booster packs, and it's in just a piece of cardboard, that's relatively easy logistically for them to put that product together and sell it. If they're going to do an Elite Trainer box, it's got lots of different parts. You've got to manufacture the dice, the coins, the sleeves, and they're all manufactured in different countries. You've got to logistically put that all together at a location, then package that all up, and then ship it out to distributors. It's just more hassle for them to do. I think it's unlikely they're going to do that, and I think we're going to see the 151 Elite Trainer boxes have a really good couple of years, especially because it's a holiday set, so you don't have sealed booster boxes of it. I think it's going to do quite well. We do have a new 151 product coming out soon, the Blooming Waters. I don't know how much of that is going to be around in the EU and the US, but I have a feeling like a lot of it's going to get bought out quite quickly. So although it has a really good pack to cost ratio of around about $5 a pack, and currently products like the Elite Trainer box are more than that, well more than that. I think you're getting closer to $10 a pack. Let's see, we'll work it out while we're here. So like market price $114, and you get 9 packs in Scarlet and Violet. So the pack to cost ratio is $12.66 on 151 if you were to buy it in an Elite Trainer box in the US right now. The Blooming Waters, like I said, drops that down to $5. So I just think there's going to be a massive run on these Blooming Water collection boxes, and I think a lot of people are just going to open them, crack them to get the packs out, to arbitrage the packs and sell them online, or just keep them as an investment. So I do think that although we're getting more 151 product coming out, I don't think we'll get the Elite Trainer boxes, and I really don't think it's going to affect the price too much. We might see a little bit of price consolidation, maybe a tiny bit of a dip over around about January time, mid-January, and then I expect to see it just creep back up in price. Really kind of crazy to see such a modern set from Scarlet and Violet do so well on the Elite Trainer box, but it's definitely becoming more and more of a play by the day. I'm tempted to buy into some myself. The cheapest you can buy the Elite Trainer box here in the UK right now is 85 with postage, so 88, and then we're at 90. Like I said, if these don't get reprinted, it's going to be another Evolving Skies situation, I think, where it's going to go 100, 120, 130, 140 an Elite Trainer box in a little bit of time. You can see they're selling for 90 as well. It's not just that they're up for 90, they're selling for 90, and the Pokemon exclusives are going for 140. So we're going to keep an eye on it on the channel. Like I said, I might buy 1 or 2 myself just because I don't have any. It would look kind of nice on the display behind me, but unfortunately on that challenge I'm only allowed to pay retail for stuff, and the chances of me getting a 151 Elite Trainer box for retail is 0%. Right now. However, I have added a little stipulation that whatever is there, monetary value, I could sell to free up more funds, and then I could buy something that's more for retail. But I can only build up that pot behind me by buying retail Elite Trainer boxes. So that's why it's all going to be sort of ultra modern. But we'll see what was happening. I was running some numbers in my head, and I was like, well, if there's 2 boxes there right now, I've got 1 more on the way. I'm allowed to buy 1 more this month. Then we're at 4 boxes. I was like, if retail's like £50 in the UK for like a standard Elite Trainer box, at 10 boxes I'm at £500. That's going to happen quite quickly. If I keep on down that route, I'm going to have to sell some, because A, it won't fit behind me, and I'm going to have to upgrade to bigger products like this, more expensive products like the 151 Elite Trainer box, maybe some Evolving Sky stuff. Because I was thinking, like, monetary value, like, say I get to 100 boxes behind me, that's £4,000, £5,000, something like that. That will build up quite quick, actually. If I'm putting in £80 a month, £100 a month, it's not going to take that long. Like, I know you're like, oh yeah, but that's 3 years, 4 years. I've been doing this nearly 10 years, investing in sealed product. And I tell you what, years go by quick. Years go by real quick, especially as you get older as well. Before you know it, I'm just going to have a pile behind me of boxes. So at some point, I'm going to have to consolidate, sell some of them, and buy bigger boxes. Anyway, the last segment of the video is something that I've been doing the last couple of weeks, and I've really been enjoying doing it as well. And it's pointing out less desired boxes. And it's not something that we're going to track every week on the channel necessarily, these sets, because their prices don't change that much because there's not much supply and demand of them. But it's interesting for us to still have a look at them. And this week we're going to have a look at Rebel Clash. And Rebel Clash is a very, very interesting set. When Rebel Clash came out, it was very much marked as a terrible set. Very few people bought into it. Very few people that actually bought Rebel Clash put it away as sealed. I do have a little bit of it sealed, not booster boxes. I have some booster packs, like blister packs of it, that I bought at the time. I also have these really weird products as well, which is like a Check Lane blister, which has a Darkness Ablaze pack and a Rebel Clash pack in it. And I've got loads of those because I bought them off of Marketplace from someone, and it worked out that I think it was like £4 a blister, so it works out at like £2 each for a Darkness Ablaze pack and a Rebel Clash pack, and I got a load of those, which is interesting. Anyway, Rebel Clash is one of those sets that even at the time it was really undesirable, and you just don't see them sold that often. The reason why we're going to look at Rebel Clash this week is because look what's going on with the chart. Okay, now that's not a huge increase in price. Okay, it looks like it's going vertical, but it's really not that bad. It's just because not many get sold. The price difference from the bottom is actually from $220 up to $225, so a $5 price increase, around about 2%. But because these don't really sell that often, it shows that something's going on. Okay, and you can see that from the sales data here. So how many are sold? 16 sold at once, like in a 2-day period. And usually you'd have one sell every once in a while. This is on a 3-month period. Look, you were seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Bar the last couple of days, we saw 9 sell on TCG Player in the last 3 months. Okay, so they do not sell this often, and then all of a sudden, oh look, we sold 16 in one day. Let's have a look at what's going on. $239 a pack for the sealed booster box. The reason for that is, again, supply and demand. There's not much demand for it, but also there's not much supply for it. And you do get people that want the full set. They want all of them available. You have some shops that want every booster pack available, so you'll get people like that who want to open it to rip it to then sell it for a profit. You also have people who want one of every type in their collection, and I appreciate that. They want to have every single booster box from all of Sword and Shield. So again, people like that push up the demand. And this person here, I don't know who it is, but someone recognizes that and is making a play on it. They bought 12 at once yesterday at $240 each, which is actually kind of crazy when you think about it, and you'll see why in a minute when we look at eBay, because they really don't sell that often. So to buy 12 in one day at the peak price is interesting. Someone's making a play on it. That's 2 cases worth. Someone's buying this and probably putting it away because they know that collectors in the future are going to want this to complete their set run of all of the booster boxes, and if he's the only guy selling it, he can charge whatever he wants. Let's have a look at eBay then. eBay in the UK right now, cheapest you can buy at £214. Okay, and this is one of the worst sets of Sword and Shield. There's like no demand on it. It just shows that over time, generally, all sets go up in price. Okay, let's have a look at last sales then. Last sales, basically £200 all in on an auction. So we're agreed that that's the price here in the UK, okay? Because we can see it on cheapest available, and we can see an auction coming in for that price as well. This is also crazy as well, okay? So EU exclusive, half booster box, 18 packs, £40. So that works out at 120 on the booster box, which is below retail, which is kind of crazy. But anyway, £195, which again is quite a bit over retail. So if you'd have bought this, even one of the worst sets from Sword and Shield, if you'd have bought this on release and put it away until now, you would have done well, because I'm pretty sure you could pick these up for probably close to £100 back then. You could buy it from below retail back then, maybe a little bit less. You still would have made what, 80% profit, 90% profit holding it for a few years on really what is quite a terrible set. So let's have a look at this then. So last sales in the US. Oh, this was what I was going to look at. Sorry, let me just go back. So not only was it £195, £205 all in. Let's just see how many of them are sold. Okay, so last sale was the 15th of November. That was 15 days ago. So in the UK, only one has sold on eBay. And he had to do it as an auction. One has sold in the last 2 weeks. Okay, let's just look at all of November. So we've got one so far, we've got two 3rd of November, 3 1st of November. 3 in 1 month have sold in the UK across all of the UK. And you might think, okay, but the UK is a small market. Let's have a look at the US market then. US market, okay, let's look at all of November. Last sale, 225 on the 26th of November. So last sale was 4 days ago, okay. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 sold in the last 15 days, so half a month. So if we average that out, that's what? 12 a month. So we're talking about less than 1 every 2 days is selling across the entire US on eBay. Okay? 1 every 2 days across all of the US on the entire eBay. And then this guy buys 12 in 1 day for $240 off of a TCG player. Like I said, someone's making a play. I respect it. It's a dangerous play because it's a crazy set. Do I recommend doing this play? No. This play is not for beginners. However, I respect it. I'm always going to point out plays to you when I see them on the channel. Like I said, it's not a play I would make, but I respect it. You can't do sneaky plays like this and expect it to go under the radar without me noticing. I literally, halfway around the world, he only made this play yesterday on a set no one's looking at. I'll still see you. We'll still see you. We're going to keep an eye on Rebel Clash every once in a while. Let me know down below in the comments if you think that he made a good decision on that or not. Personally, I think he will make money, but I would rather put my money into other products. But yeah, main takeaway from this episode is Fusion Strike is now finally out of stock worldwide. No more Fusion Strike for crazy cheap prices. UK market's going to explode. US market is already exploding. Everyone's FOMOing into it. Absolute madness. I think the Pokemon market as a whole is going to have a massive 2025. Make sure you subscribe down below to never miss an opportunity. I will keep you up to date with all of the plays across US markets, UK markets, EU markets, Canadian markets, Australian markets, everything. You can't make a play without me seeing it. Hope you guys have a wonderful day and peace.